Hey guys, it's Chala from Crafting Through the Chaos of Life. Welcome back for another video. So I'm continuing to work on this beautiful winter botanical journal. The only thing is I'm actually going to recover the cover again for a couple reasons. I got some glue stuck on here and I don't like how it ripped. I tried to cover up with some ink to see if that would be okay. Don't like how that looks. And I think I actually want to try a different technique. This isn't bad, but again, I'm giving it to someone to give to someone else as a gift. So I want to make sure it's top notch in my books. So we're going to recover it a different way. This way we just glued it right on top and then we had no fold over, right? This time I'm going to leave it the full size of the paper and I'm actually going to fold the edges over. Now the edges are white, that's okay. I will ink them and kind of hide that. So that is kind of my plan for today. I know it's kind of a recreation of what you've already seen, but sometimes we make mistakes, sometimes things happen, smudges, glue, whatever. How do you fix it? Well, the beautiful thing about digitals is you can reprint them. And you know, that's kind of what I like about digitals, not to mention the fact that you don't have to store them. Don't get me wrong, you can still do this with your scrapbook paper, whatever you like, but for this project, this is just what I want to do. So I want to line it up, and I'm going to cheat. I wish I had my light board out, but I'm going to cheat a bit. I need to kind of figure out, I'm going to hold this up to the light so I can see just kind of the edges of where the actual image is, and I'm putting little pencil marks, and this will just help me to know where to line up the edges of the book so that, maybe if I turn these on, oh, did this one burn out already? I left these on all night, my little turn lights. So yeah, I'm just going to, don't mind me, I'm just making little marks of where the edges of the image is. And then I have some little score lines that I made for the spine, and then I'm just going to darken those up. So I just made some really light pencil marks just so I can see where the image is on this side. Now let's make sure that we turn it the right way. And I'm just going to line up those little pencil marks, making sure I line up the spine as well. Okay, so there, and there. Okay, so that's basically where I want it. Now what I'm going to do is grab my score tool and just go all the way around, tracing this so I know where to put it back exactly. And it will help with folding as well. Okay, so I've traced that out. You can't really see the score lines. I can, so that's really the important part. Okay, now let's take out my craft mat, and this will also make our edges a lot nicer. Ugh, my craft mat that I cut into yesterday, what a boob I am, I tell ya. But that's what happens when you've been out of your craft space for a while, is you forget that you can't cut through those things. Okay, so grab a brush. I don't remember which one we used. I think it was this one. Okay. Go, and we're just going to do this all over again, but this time we're going to wrap around the entire board piece. So I like how I did everything else, the measuring of the card or chipboard, all of that was all okay, that was good. It was just how I lined this up. And then of course, when I tried to cut the paper with my knife, the paper was still wet from the glue and it kind of shredded. And then I had this kind of thing happen, and that's not okay in my standards. You don't have to be perfect, but it needs to be nice. if that makes sense. Especially because this is the cover, it's going to, you know, be the first thing you see, and you don't want any ichfoys on there. Okay. There, so I'm just using this collage medium again. This gel medium, whatever it's called here, this stuff. Got it from Amazon. Let's try and put the lid on properly so that it doesn't dry out. And then let's take this away. So I have a clean surface so I don't get glue on this one again. Okay, making sure it's the right way. And now very carefully laying it down. And again, because I'm not using art glitter glue, I do have the tiniest bit of wiggle room, more than I would with art. Okay. Hopefully this works. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come along the edges and use art, because I should have everything lined up nicely, and I know that art is going to hold it down beautifully. Where's my little tool? There we go. Smoothing this out. Just like this. Yeah, already I think I like this a lot better. Oh, I really don't know what that ding ding was. Oh, okay, a text. I've never heard it make that sound before, but okay. All right. Let's add some glue here. Yeah, this is kind of a learning process, right? And that's okay. Sometimes it's nice to see that learning process, right? I mean, it's one thing to watch a tutorial of someone and see them do it perfect the first time. That's great, but the chances of me getting right the first time is slim to none. So I like to know how to fix mistakes too. So just know that mistakes are okay. That's how we learn. And I'll show you how to fix them because chances are I've made the mistake. All right, the corners we want to, I found my scissors. I've been missing my Tim Holtz scissors for a while, and I found them again, and I'm quite excited. So let's use them. So we're just going to cut this at an angle. Now, I am going to put on some corners. So, I'm not too worried about that. If I mess up on the corners a little bit, that is fine. I usually don't miter these the right way. That's also another thing that I'm not the best at. That's okay. Come on. There we go. What are, oh, more messages. What the heck? I've never heard it make that sound before. I'm actually off to lunch today. I think I told you guys that in my other video with my friend Rosanna and my friend Karen. So I'm just trying to get this done before I head out with them. That way it'll have time to dry while I'm away. So just adding art glitter glue here to these little fold over flat pieces. There we go. And I like art for this part because it does grab quite quickly. There we go. Grab our little tool. And we are going to put a end paper in here to cover that, so that will be just fine as well. And then it just makes our edge look so much neater. And again, I'll hit that with some ink to cover any of that white up. So not to worry there. That's just a little more manageable than that ripped piece I had. I did not like that. So I'm just going to fold it like this. I don't have as much to work with on this end, so I might use a clip just to hold it while I maneuver these pieces around. Oh my goodness, what's going on? Okay, why is art not doing its job? What's going on, buddy? So this is probably the better way to do it. And I knew that. I knew that going in. I really don't know what I was thinking about yesterday, but that's okay. Hold that down. There's just a few pieces that are kind of bubbling up, so let's work with this one now, and we'll do the big one last because that one will be the easiest. Oh, it's a good thing we are going for lunch because I am actually hungry. I don't usually eat lunch. It's kind of a rarity if I do. Usually because I'm at work and I just work through lunch. I know it's not the best thing to do, but sometimes when you're on a roll, you don't want to stop. Because once I stop, sometimes it's hard to get started again. I'm like, I just want to go home. Okay. Throw a couple of these on. Maybe I will give it a little extra juice under there. Okay. Use one of my dried up baby wipes. There. Yeah, I'm liking this so much better. Guys, what was I thinking yesterday? I obviously wasn't. You know, you get out of your groove, what do? You have to relearn. Okay. Then our end papers, we will cut out like I did on the cover. Our inside cover pages, whatever. I think they're called end pages. That's why I use that. Okay, you feel like you're going to give me some hassle right about here. So let's give you some extra. Right. But there. Okay. So all is not lost. Everything is fixable. Like that. Okay, yes. A little bit of white there, that is okay because I can ink that and it's at the bottom. Otherwise, I like how that turned out. Okay. I'm just going to let that dry a bit, and then when we come back, we will do the inside end papers, and then we can, oh, hello, we can ink it all up. And what did we want for the inside papers? I think it was this one, right? Yes. But I wanted to do kind of like a hidden spine as well, right? So what I'm going to do for that, I really like those flowers. Maybe what I'll do, are these very similar? They are similar. So I'm wondering, I mean, you're not going to end up seeing this part, but I do want it to kind of look seamless. So I think what I'll do is I will print out another one of these, and then I'll show you how I'm going to wrap the additional spine, because I want to do a hidden spine in this, and how we'll glue that all together. So I'll show you that once this has had some time to dry. So this has had some time to dry, and it's actually the next day. I ended up meeting my friends for lunch, and then I did a little bit more Christmas shopping, finished things off, and then I actually met with some of my old co-workers for a little get-together last night. So yeah, the next day I've gone ahead and prepped this liner page, and I did print it out twice because I do want to do a hidden spine. I don't want it as thick as the chipboard. I just think that would just be a little too thick. So I went with a cracker box piece because, well, it actually is the perfect length. So this is one of my favorite cracker boxes to use that I like to use for actual journal covers as well. So I've cut this piece down to fit inside. Let's just double check and make sure that it fits nicely inside. Yes, absolutely perfect. So this is about 3/4 of an inch that I cut. And I didn't have to do anything for the height of it. It's just absolutely perfect. So that will work. So we're going to glue this down. And then I don't need to do this, but I just think it's those little added touches that make it look great, is that I want this to be wrapped in this to cover the spine portion and have it somewhat match up as closely as possible. I'm not going to get it perfect, but as closely as possible is the key. Okay, I need a cloth because I'm going to use the gel medium again for this. It seemed to work quite well. So we're going to use that. Clean out my brush. There we go. I think that's okay. And we'll just again slap this down. I don't want to go right to the edge because the paper, well, of course I just did there. Look at that. But that's okay. It's going to dry clear. Not a problem. But ideally, I guess it's not a big deal if it goes over. But our paper's not going to go exactly directly edge to edge. It's going to be off just like a couple millimeters. And oh, I should have done it this way first. That's okay. I want to lay down actually the spine first now that I'm thinking about it. I want to lay the paper down on the spine portion first. And the reason why I want to do that is because it will fold a bit, and so that will give me enough room for when I glue it down, it's not going to split in the seam or bunch up weird, if that makes sense. So let me just grab a little bit more. I've only had a little bit of coffee this morning, so I'm not thinking absolutely clearly. I did the unthinkable. I had to go online to check a package that I'm waiting for my husband, and I accidentally used my office email, and that's where all the updates were going. So I logged into my office email, and I shouldn't have done that because, of course, then I start working. So admittedly, I did review some work emails. And then I was like, no, focus. You're here to specifically look at the shipping tracking for your package. Although, having logged on, I did see some lovely messages from not only coworkers, one of the lawyers that I work for, as well as a client wrote me a beautiful email. So, I mean, that was nice to see. So I'm just going to gently score in that crease just so it kind of fits in there nicely. Again, I shouldn't have glued this page just yet, but that's okay. We're going to make it work. So yeah, if we just do the spine first, I generally find that it lays a lot nicer. Oh my goodness, making a mess. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing on this. Whoa, geez, that's okay. It's going to be covered. Trying to find that crease. There we go. There, and now it shouldn't bunch up weird, though it does look like it's doing it there a little bit. Okay, I think we'll be okay. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and glue down one side at a time. And when I lay it down, I want to lay it this way and push out. That will hopefully minimize any wrinkling right in this area here. At least that's the goal. And maybe I should have done the other side first and waited for this glue to dry so I don't muck it up, but 'tis what it is. We're going to roll with it because we just are. Okay, so putting this little tool in the crease like this. I'm going to have a little bit of wrinkling, and of course that's on the cover. Ugh. Okay, we'll do our best. I'm working really quite slowly here. Again, another reason why I don't necessarily want to use art glitter glue is because it does dry too fast. And I want to work slowly to make sure it lays nicely. And I think I'm successful. It's looking pretty good. We'll have to add a little bit more fresh glue as we go along, but I find that slow and steady, and this is warping. You can see that the book cover is warping. I'm not worrying about that right now because when I am done doing this, I'm going to move on to the signatures, and I'll lay this under something heavy and flat, and it will flatten itself back out. Worst case scenario is I use my big old heat press. I have a heat press, and I can throw it in there, and it's like a great big iron, and iron it out. Again, just working nice and slow. Okay. I mean, I should have probably inked up the edges before I glued this down in hindsight, but again, not the end of the world. Okay. I'm a little bit of a hot mess. Now, when I get to the corners, I do want to add a little bit of art glitter glue there, just because that is a point that may potentially lift up. So if it's not glued down 100%, I'm going to add it there. Use whatever glue you have that is strong that you like, if you don't have art glitter glue. Now that part will, like the tippy corners are going to get held down by the metal corner protectors. Okay. Even though that's a little warped, I'm quite happy with it because I myself am a little warped. Okay. Good. Good, good, good. I like how that folds. There's no bunching. It's just really nice and clean. Okay, now let's go on to this side. And fingers crossed, it is going to be just as successful. I'll work in little bits. A little bit time consuming, but so worth it to get the result that you want. It does take a little bit of time. I'm learning to be more patient, and I think I usually choose a word to kind of set myself for the tone of the year. Last year it was routine. Well, I did really great for the first 6 months of the year. I had a great routine, and then things kind of fell apart. I really tried to get back into routine as best as I could. But life happens. This year, I think patience for 2025, I think patience might be my new word. I need to be patient with my children, with my husband, with my work, with my friends, and more importantly, with myself. I need to be more patient in the things that I do, be more mindful. Stop rushing and just enjoy the process. Okay. This is getting a little bit gummy, but we'll make it work. Wonderful. That folds beautifully. And I don't have any wrinkles. Knock on wood. It's just a little bit there. It needs some art. Okay. How are we doing? So I'm just coming in, and you can kind of see where it's kind of bubbling right there. You can kind of see those little bits. That's where I'm going to come in with the art glitter glue and just squidge some in there. Just to make sure that gets held down nicely. It's not going to lift. So I'll turn it around this way and do the same thing. This one's pretty good. Did a fairly good job. Okay. There. All right, let's put the pin back in our glue to make sure it doesn't get all gunky on us. Okay, I'm happy with that. That looks pretty good. Oh, there's a little bit right there. Squidge some in there. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Doesn't that look pretty? I did have a wee bit of cracking. I don't know if you can see that right about there, but quite honestly, that doesn't bother me. I quite like that because that's what an old book would do, right? So I just come in with my ink and just hit it with the ink dauber. And then if I want, I can come in and I could do a Mod Podge on here. I might, just to protect it a little bit and help seal any of that cracking. But you don't have to. We'll see. We'll see what I have time for. Okay, this bad boy needs to go underneath something heavy. So I will put that under there, and then we're going to work on, let's do this first before. I need to figure out kind of where the flowers are so that I can try to have a seamless spine there. I think right about there. Okay. Now to find some place to put this. Let's try this. Ooh, that's a good heavy box. Go under there. Okay. Get right under there, my friend. There. Okay. So for this, I am just going to, let's actually maybe do a little 10-second tidy here. I will need that again, but okay. So it's about right here, and I'm just going to use my score tool and just kind of trace on either side. Oops. And that'll just let me know where I need to place. That work? Yeah, can kind of see it. Okay. So since I can kind of see it, let's actually do a better job of scoring that now. Okay, it's right there. This will help me, I think, line up. Do I have it? Just move it over a bit. There. Perfect. And then the other one, can I see it? Am I there? Oops. Oops, oops. Okay. I can see that. I'm just going to fold that. Tuck this in here. I'm sure there's an easier way, you guys, but I like to do things the hard way. I think my mom can attest to that. I've always been the child who does things the hard way. You can tell me 1,000 times to do it the easy way, but I will still try it the hard way, and I need to learn myself. Is anybody else like that? Okay. There we go. Let's put that aside. So now I want to cut a little bit off this end, and then we're going to have some lovely little pieces left over that we could use for pockets or side tucks. Okay, so if that's where that is, I'm just going to cut it there. So we have that left over. I'm leaving the top white part here because I want to fold it over. And about there. Another piece left over. Okay. Oh, that's a little more than I wanted to take off, but that's okay. It'll work. It will be fine. Okay. Now, actually this I think I can, no, I'll use the gel medium. Clean off my brush. Okay. Like that. Let's turn it this way maybe. And I'm going to put the yellow side to the back. Not super necessary, but just in case you can see the yellow through the image. You shouldn't, but is this the right one? No, this is not the right one. This is the right one. Shoot. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. It was this one. It'll be fine. Everything will be okay. Line it up in the middle. Like that. I think that's about right. We'll figure it out. Yeah, doing things the hard way. Doing things the hard way. Now I want to have some nice corners to fold. So let's do it like this. We'll see how this goes. Again, it's just the spine that we're going to be sewing the signatures into. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not end all be all if it's a little imperfect. Okay. This part I want to use art glitter. And let's fold these down first. Like that. And like that. Do the sides. Like that. It's probably because I measured with the wrong one. I should have just tossed this right out of the way, but that's fine. It'll be fine. Again, our eye will actually fill in the imperfections. Okay. Sweet. Now I do need to add a little bit of ink. Oh, so I had a little bit of white there. That's okay. We'll put that part at the bottom maybe. And no one will notice. Maybe. We'll see. Okay. Pin. Lit. I'm going to bring out the book for a second. It needs to sit under this for... Oh, it flattened out actually fairly well just in that short period of time. Pretty good. I'll put it back under there though. So, see? Oh, look at that. It worked out perfect. Oh, I love it. I love it when things like that happen. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Even if I put that at the bottom... No, it definitely needs to go the other way. And that's okay. Look at that. Perfection. I'm actually really quite happy with that. I mean, it's not perfection, but it's pretty dang close. Again, our eye will fill it in, right? Okay, so there's that. Let's put this back under. And let's put this in a safe place so I don't lose it. All right, so we have our cover mostly done. The next thing that we want to do is our signatures. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a tidy and I will come back with some papers.